Folks, welcome to yet another episode from the TGV Global Speaker Series, and our guest for today is Felix Lorhon. He's joining us from Nigeria, and as we prepare to delve into our conversation on the topic at hand, overcoming relapse in substance addictions. Interesting topic. I'm sure most people might be curious about this topic, but before we get into the conversation, here's an exciting twist. Let us tickle the brain of our guest Felix first. So, Felix, get ready for a rapid fire round of random words. I'll mention a few, and I would love to hear the first thing that comes to your mind in response without thinking much. If you're ready, let's get started.
All right, let's get started.
Wonderful. Curiosity.
Okay, curiosity, being worried about happenings around you. Maybe you really want to know what is going on in your place or in your life. Maybe people carrying out activities in a way that looks strange to you, and then you really want to know how come about such thing.
Invention.
Okay, it can equally come up in ideas, being creative, bringing out new ideas, being innovative and productive.
Future.
Future, like, okay, maybe you are aspiring for a big picture and also trying to get a clear vision about something you intend achieving, maybe in the nearest future
Book.
or time to come.
Yeah, next is book.
Okay, book, inspirational books also are out there that you can take a look into and then change your life.
Movie.
Movie interesting, you watch movie to entice yourself and also learn new things.
Food.
Okay, things we eat that can sustain our life.
Next is creativity.
Creativity, being knowledgeable, thinking about creating new things, innovative. As we are human, we are born to create, and we have the power and ability to create things and make things happen and change around us.
Universe.
Oh, we all live in a universe, and it has the beautiful things that it can offer to us only if we open our mind to embrace the things that it has for us.
Next is leadership.
Leadership. Okay, we live in a universe where we are all human, and we need people that can direct us and guide us on things we do. So leadership is about directing or guiding a group of people on a certain things.
Okay, here comes the last one. Success.
Success, we all aspire to be successful in life, but we must follow the principles of success because it has principles to follow.
Good one, Felix. I loved your responses in the first rapid fire round. So wait for one more rapid fire round towards the end of the episode. And folks, welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series where we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place through valuable discussions that add value not only to your life but also to your career. And thank you so much for tuning in. Felix, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice, and happy to host you today. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, and you?
I'm doing very well too. Thank you so much. And on this note, I would like to thank my mentee, Stephen Robin, again for connecting me with Felix. It's so exciting to have this wonderful conversation with Felix. And Felix, without further ado, let's get into our conversation and let's begin with your success mantra. So please share with us the top 3 things that have contributed to your success so far.
Okay, being a mentor, and I've come to a situation whereby I encounter a lot of people in this mentoring journey. The first person I met was Lofty from Russia, and we learned a lot where he put me on about grounding and how life grounding. Yeah, so I learned a lot of things, and right now I can equally share my ideas and knowledge about what grounding and life grounding is all about. Yes, and I mentor different people on different topics like depression as well and substance addictions. And I really enjoy all those days which I was into the mentoring or mentorship activities with other people. I'm happy and grateful today because I am doing well in my life, and also I'm instructor on Udemy right now. Currently, as I'm speaking with you, I am instructor on Udemy.
Amazing.
These are the 3 success. real
Mm-hmm.
success, which I'll share with you now. That truly.
Okay, and Felix, let's get into the core of today's conversation. Please share some
Yeah.
insights on what commonly triggers a relapse in individuals who are recovering from substance addictions.
Okay. Before I proceed, we like to look about what relapse in substance addictions is all about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, relapse in substance addictions, it's just a situation whereby you return back to your previous addictive behavior. Maybe this could be in interval of 2 years or 3 years. You discover that you are free from substance addictions such as drugs or even alcohol. They are all addictions. So, but all of a sudden, you begin to see yourself going back to that same behavior, testing those substances, testing alcohol or even smoking again. So there are numerous factors which triggers an individual, a person, to fall back to those behaviors or to take those substances. So which I'll be maybe outline basically some of them here so that we'll look into them. So now the triggers of substance addictions or relapses in substance addictions could be individuals or environment which you find yourself in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people live in a city, an environment where different kind of people take substances like alcohol, smoking, and drugs. So when you find yourself in that particular environment, you will begin to feel the past experiences of those substances. You begin to feel the joy that you derive when you take those substances. So environment is one of the ways that lead people back to their previous addictive behavior. And then some doesn't feel careful or mindful of the dangers of addictions. So if you are into addictive behavior and you fail to recognize the dangers, you will equally fall back to those substances.
Mm-hmm.
So these various ways contribute or triggers an individual to go back to the previous addictive behavior. And then some can be romanticizing drug use or past drug use. That when you're
Mm-hmm.
romanticizing past drug use, it means you're beginning to have the feelings about those drugs which you initially take. Then some people take just to they sit back to rethink about how they feel when they were addicted to substances.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, some people they believe that when they take substances such as hemp smoking, then they believe that they see in the future. So when they try to romanticize, they begin to see the goodness, the enticing things about substance addictions, and then you see people falling back. And some could be living with people who normally involve into substance abuse. So when you find yourself in the mix of those people, there's a great tendency that you can equally fall back to those substances.
Got it. And these are some great insights. And let's move forward, Felix. What coping
Yes.
strategies or tools have you found to be effective in preventing relapses and maintaining recovery?
Now, overcoming relapsing substance addictions, there are many ways with or strategies you can use. One, you modify your environment. Now, modifying your environment simply means taking yourself out of that environment which your triggers comes in. Like I earlier said, people fall back to their previous addictive behavior, that is relapse, by environment which they found themselves in. So if you really want to get out of that relapse or overcome substance addictions, you need to modify your environment. Modify your environment, yes, simply means take yourself out of that environment which your triggers come from. Maybe you live in an environment where there are availability of substances like drugs, smoking, and alcohol. So you always find yourself in that particular environment and you want to quit substance abusing, such as drugs or smoking or alcohol. The first thing you need to do, you need to avoid yourself or move out of that environment. Take yourself out of that environment where you overcome those triggers. And you avoid isolations. Now, when you avoid isolation, you begin to create a relationship with people around that can equally help you overcome substance addictions. Then you break out of it. But being in a situation where you isolate yourself from people, you begin to have the feelings to take those substances.
Mm-hmm.
Then, yes, you'll be mindful of your thought. Most people, what triggers them to intake substances, it is when they begin to build negative thought pattern rather than being positive in their thinking. And there was a time I was reading a particular book, and by Albert Ellis, he said, whatever a man or a person becomes, it is the function of his thinking ability. So if you begin to embrace negative thought pattern, you will equally begin to fall back into substance abusing. So here now, if you really want to get out of this, you need to be mindful of your thought. You need to embrace positive thought rather than negative thoughts. Yes.
Superb.
And then you read,
Mm-hmm.
you read books that will teach you about the negative dangers of substance addictions. A lot of people have no knowledge about what substance addiction is. They only take simply because they see people take. They fail to look into the dangers or the negative aspect or the psychological dangers of substance addictions.
Mm-hmm.
So these strategies, if they can equally look into by avoiding isolations, modifying their environment, and employing coping mechanisms that will help them overcome this. But okay, by engaging yourself into activities that will help you disconnect or disconnect you from the negative aspect or able to have the feelings about those substances.
Got it, Felix. Now let's talk about the family support. Like, how important is a support system in overcoming these relapses? And what role do family and friends play in this process? How should they behave?
Let's start with the family.
Okay.
If in the family, we have the head, that is the father, the mother, the elder brothers, and the siblings around. So in your family, someone might be there who have knowledge about substance addictions. That is the dangers, the psychological dangers of substance addiction. So living with your family, one person like sitting with them, and then you express your feelings towards them. You tell them your challenge about what is going on in your life. So your family can equally look for solution to advise you on the negative dangers of addictions, of substance addictions. That is how the family can equally help you get out of addictions.
Super.
Then friends, yes, there is a saying that show me your friend and I will tell you who you are. Now, you need to select your friends in the areas of overcoming substance addictions or relapsing substance addictions. Me personally, I was addicted to substances about 5 years ago. Then how I managed to overcome my relapse, because even as I get out of those addictions, there was a time in my life that I realized that I was going back to those substances. So I began to look for support group, and I always found myself in the midst of friends who highly have knowledge about dangers of substance addictions. So whenever I was in the mix with them, I express myself on the challenge which I are having. Like I share with them, I am going back to these particular addictions or drugs or smoke, which I was equally in as an addict then. So they always try to give me solution that, okay, select friends, makes friends that know about the dangers of these things. And when I meet them, I found my way out. And today I am free from substances.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for sharing those. And let's move forward. I'll switch the gears and move to the next question. So, are there any specific warning signs that someone may be on the verge of a relapse, and what can they do to intervene effectively?
Okay, thanks. Okay, things that the symptoms and the sign of relapse.
Yeah.
You begin to have intense feelings about those substances. You begin to hallucinate and then to feel the positivity about it. But there is no positive things in substance addictions. All are negative because it has psychological dangers to anyone who involved his or herself in. So most sciences about these things are the triggers which you really want to go back and you begin to have the clear vision or picture about the things that you normally do when you are into. Then stress also can equally triggers an individual to fall back into those substances. Maybe taking out hard labor, stressful activities can also drive you back to those things. Yes, when some people they ignore the warning signs of substance addictions. So when you begin to see that you are failing to take those substances, you have to be mindful of those signs so that you won't go back to those substances.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. And let's move forward, Felix. And here comes my next one. So, can you describe a successful case where someone managed to overcome a relapse and how their journey can inspire others in similar situations?
Now, ways of overcoming relapse, you can equally educate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Educating yourself is about reading about the psychological dangers of substance addictions. When you identify those dangers, this will help you to overcome relapse. When reading about it, you need to study intensively so that you can overcome this relapse in substance addictions. Then you also need to identify the triggers. What triggers you to become addicted?
Mm-hmm.
What triggers you to become addicted to substances? Once you are able to identify those triggers, you begin to avoid them.
Okay.
Then, yes, you practice self-care by being mindful about your thoughts, your
Mm-hmm.
feelings, and things. When you begin to be mindful of those things, you overcome relapse in substance addiction.
Got it.
Yeah.
And also, let's talk about some common setbacks or challenges people face when dealing with depression and how can these be effectively managed or overcome.
Okay. Let's look about depression. Depression is a mental health condition that is characterized by persistent feeling of sadness, hopelessness, and lose of interest in things one had joy. So now, most people become depressed due to things that happen to them. Maybe some people it could be as a result of marriage failure or breakdown in business, academics, and even loss of loved ones. This can equally trigger depression. So if you are depressed and you really want to get out of it, there are some key factors you need to practice to overcome depression. Then depression also, you can be mindful of your thought, being careful with your thought by not embracing negative thought.
Mm-hmm.
You say focus on positive things that will trigger you and boost your thinking, and then disconnect yourself from negative things. Then you need to select or embrace positive relationship because toxic relationship also triggers depression. So you take note of these key things.
Okay, got it. And Felix, this has been insightful conversation so far, and it's time for us to add some spice and to bring in some more excitement in the episode. So I would like to kick off the second rapid fire questions, and if you're ready, let's get started. Okay, here comes the first question. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
Okay, okay. My first thing to write about because I know a lot of people are depressed and depression has taken a lot of lives. So I could write overcome depression and be free from depressed life so
Hmm.
as to become successful in life.
Mm-hmm. Good. And let's move to the next question. What is one thing that you are really bad at that you wish you were good or better at?
Okay, so far so good. I am bad at public speaking, so I really intend to overcome pride in communicating to generality of people.
Okay. And can you describe yourself in just one word?
Okay, I am Felix Lorhon, a graduate of Benue State University, and I study guidance and counseling as my first degree. And currently, I am instructor with Naveen.
Okay. And I asked you to describe yourself in just one word only. How do you describe, like, in one word, not one sentence?
I'm good at instructing.
Okay. So I'll say instructor is your one word. Okay. Great. So, what is your favorite thing about living in the 21st century?
Oh, the technology advancement, things are quick, fast changing, and it's good
Okay.
too. The lives are also improving as well.
Okay. Got it. And if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? Which superpower you want? In case if you are given an opportunity.
Superpower.
Yeah.
I don't really get that question.
Okay, no problem. We'll move to the next question. So, Felix, what would be one electronic gadget that you'd like to see or invent yourself? Some fantasy gadget.
Okay, like a laptop, Apple laptop.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. You want to invent Apple laptop kind of thing. Okay, good one. And let's flip back to the mainstream. And here comes the next question. What advice or tips would you offer to someone currently facing a depression setback to help them find the strength and resources to overcome this challenging phase and continue their recovery journey?
Okay. Now they need to reflect and learn. You need to reflect on the previous depressed life.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was depressed, what were the dangers that I faced? Okay, maybe I find it difficult to sleep. I find it difficult to think positively. And now I want to get out of depressed life. I need to
Mm-hmm.
study. I need to reflect about those dangers. I need to learn basic things concerning depression. So when you learn about depression, you find out solutions that
Yeah.
you can get out of, like engaging yourself in activities that interest you. When you involve yourself in activities, you get out of depression easily.
Got it. And that is a great tip. And thank you so much for being part of my show. And how is your experience being hosted as a guest on my show? Did you like it?
Perfectly, I enjoy it.
Yeah, even I enjoyed the conversation, and thank you so much for joining me today and by spending your valuable time and sharing your insights with our audience. It is extremely helpful. Would love to host you again in future. Thank you once again, Felix.
You're welcome.
So, friends, that was our episode with Felix Lorhon. And before we jump into the fun trivia section, we have a quick request. If you haven't already subscribed to the Guiding Voice podcast, please subscribe from wherever you have tuned in because subscribing keeps you updated on new episodes. And also, if you have enjoyed the conversation and found it useful, please share with at least three of your friends or colleagues who would also like the Guiding Voice. So, spread the knowledge and help others grow just like you, and your support means a lot. So it helps us create more content for you and our growing community. Let's learn together on this journey. Now let's cruise into the trivia segment of today's episode. And today's trivia is about substance abuse. And first one is opioid crisis. The United States is facing an opioid crisis with over 70,000 drug overdose deaths reported in 2019, and a significant portion of which was linked to opioid misuse. And this crisis highlights the severity of opioid addiction and its impact on public health. Second is nicotine addiction. Nicotine, which is found in cigarettes, is one of the most addictive substances, making it challenging for smokers to quit. It is estimated that smoking related illnesses result in nearly 8 million deaths annually, and this fact emphasizes the addictive nature and health consequences of tobacco use. Third is about alcohol abuse. Excessive alcohol consumption is a significant public health concern. Globally, alcohol misuse is linked to over 3 million deaths annually, and the high mortality rate associated with alcohol abuse underscores the importance of addressing this issue on a global scale. So likewise, if you know any facts related to substance abuse, please keep them coming through in the form of comments if you're watching it on YouTube, or you can also comment on social media platforms wherever you have found this episode. And folks, that's it for today. And thank you so much for tuning in and also for being part of our awesome TGV community. So we would love to hear from you, and do not hesitate to share your ideas, feedback, guest speaker suggestions, topic recommendations, and whatever you would like to share. Share them through social media, or you can also email us at decadingvoiceforyou@gmail.com. And let's create content that resonates with you. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, a lifelong learner, and my goal is to have impactful conversations that improve not only your life, but also your career. And stay connected as we journey together. Until next time, take care, stay inspired, and remember the future holds great things because the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. See you all in the next episode with another amazing guest. Take care.